Hey everybody, this is Rustin Rose of Access, and we are joined today by Greg Jacks, one half of art rock duo The Dukes. How is everything in your world, my friend?
Fantastic. Actually, beautiful day in Arizona, hot day. So not very surprising, I'm sure, but yeah, life is good, I would say. Life is good. Nice. And you, how are you? How's your day going so far?
Everything's going well. Just finished my radio show, and it was fun. I was thinking about Arizona while I was waiting for you to call, and I lived there for 7 years, and I don't know how you do it. Arizona only has there's only 2 seasons. There's summer and hell, and summer starts in November. So
you've been there for 7 years, so you know what it is. It is brutal. The summers are brutal, so that's why it's cool to go on tour during the summer. You know what I mean? The summer tours are perfect because you get away from the heat and you can deal with it. And because I must admit that starting mid-October to mid-May, it is pretty nice. It is a very nice place to be living at. But I agree, those summer months are really brutal.
They are, and as you mentioned, going on tour during the summer is a wonderful time to be out. You guys just wrapped up some dates for Warped Tour 2017. What was that experience like for you guys?
You know, that was absolutely amazing, because to be honest with you, the Warped Tour, when you're French, it's almost something you can't really touch, you know, because you hear about it, you see, I mean, when I was a kid, it's been going on for 23 years. We told to Kevin Lyman that, you know, he's the owner of the Warp. And so it's been going on for 23 years, and I can remember my teenage years, you know, when I was like 16, 17, 18, I was like, oh, wow, the Warp Tour. And remember back in the days, you had all the big bands, you know, the Offspring, the Vandals, you know, many fun bands, you know. That was actually a punk rock festival. And so to be able to be part of it and be part of this family means a lot for 2 French guys, you know, because this is unusual. I believe the Warped had only 1 French band playing it in the past, you know. We're not a lot to be fortunate enough to play the Warped, so that was fantastic. It is a very unique festival. First off, if you think about it, you have close to 50 or 60 bands playing every day. You have, and now they have reduced the amount of stages, but you have 7 stages set up in 2.5 hours every day. The Warp is looking at it. It's technically, I don't know how to do it because you're not supposed to be able to do that. You know, it's completely incredible, and it's hard, man. It's a lot of hard work. It's a great camaraderie. You know, the spirit of the musician between each other is very good. The Warped Tour is the boot camp of rock and roll. That's what it is. But it's one of the nicest experience to do in my life, really, honestly. It was amazing.
And, you know, a significant aspect of the Dukes' live art and roll experience is about the visuals. How is that impacted playing outdoors at a festival in daylight?
Well, that had a big impact because there's nothing we can do. We can't beat the sun, so we couldn't use our visuals. That was the sucky part. However, the good news is that, you know, when we played the Warped, we played mostly in front of people that didn't know the Dukes. So they didn't really know about the art and the video projection. What they would see is 2 guys playing rock and roll. And I think we still put it off looking at what we got out of this tour, you know. The feedback we got from the fans and from professionals, nobody really was missing anything. We knew, so we're like, man, if only we could have that as well, it would be like a slam dunk. But, you know, you got to adapt in the world you're living. I mean, in our world today, one of the most important skills to have, that you're a band, a personal individual, whatever you are, is the adaptability. You know, you need to be flexible and to adapt to any type of situation. If in today's world you can't do that, then you're screwed. And this is what the Dukes are all about. Yes, it's art and roll. Yes, we love to use our visuals while we play live. But in the other hand, if it's not possible, we still can put a Duke show and people won't still be bored, you know? And so that's why we did. But yes, it had a big impact because we couldn't use it. We can't beat the sun, you know?
Well, you know, the art and the visuals are always fantastic to have, but at the end of the day, it's all about the music. And now you guys, speaking of music, just released your newest album, Smoke Against the Beat, your debut American album, I believe. How has your sound sort of evolved with this record? Because it's been 6 years since your previous effort, Victory, came out.
You know, we have experienced drastic changes. First off, when we released Victory, we, Shenka and I, decided to start a band with two other people. So we technically worked on the album, the two of us, then flew to Sweden to cut this album, then went back to Paris, then went back to Belgium to mix it, and we hired some friends to play with us live, you know, and some also played on the record. But, you know, the commitment you must have for a rock band is very high. For not a lot of return in the first years, you know, that it's, and I'm saying that, you know, Shenka and I, he still has another career, parallel. I quit my other band, but, you know, we've been in bands. I sold previously a couple million records, won a French Grammy, an MTV Award, you know, a lot of things like that. And when you want a band to succeed, you have to work hard, and you have to put the band almost before anything else, you know. And people didn't have that type of commitment. Therefore, we decided to just keep going together, you know, just the two of us. And that's it. It took us time to revamp our band, our music, you know, because we didn't want to play any more songs that were meant to play with four people. We wanted to adapt and play songs that we would be able to play, the two of us, live. And also we're using backing machines and stuff. But we wanted to have a core that is designed for two guys. And, you know, it takes time. It took us time. It took us time also to come and get it to be released in the U.S., you know, because it's not easy. Again, for two French guys coming from Europe, and I see that we did a lot of interviews here in the U.S. because a lot of people are interested in talking to us. Thanks God they like what we're doing. But they're like, dude, you know, we're so surprised. We didn't know French could play rock and roll the way you guys do it. You know, we didn't know French people could do that. And we had a lot of doors that closed on us because people were like, here they were like, French guys playing rock and roll. Ooh, that's a joke, you know. So it took us some time to finally get in front of the right people. Also me moving back to the States helped drastically, you know, because I used to live in California, then I had to go back to Paris, because I was releasing an album with my other band, which I quit, obviously. So now my sole concern is to make the Dukes, you know, work here in the U.S., in my country where I reside and where I think people can understand what we're trying to do. And actually they do, you know, they get it here. They get our message, also the language. They get what we're trying to say, which is quite fun for us. But yes, it took some time, and we decided to take time and deliver something good versus being in a rush and deliver something not at our level of expectation, you know. Also, you know, we've been working with producer Kato Khandwala on new material, and I don't think we'll wait 6 years to release the next album because I think it's almost ready. We just need to go. We already cut some tracks. We need to finish it, but the next album will come pretty quickly. I think 2018, you'll see the next album. So it took us time to get where we got because we really wanted to come with something, you know, a full concept and not just two guys playing rock and roll, you know.
Right.
But now we're on the roll, we're on the rhythm, and I can assure you the next album won't be in 6 years. I assume worst case scenario next summer we'll be releasing the new album.
Well, and in many ways, Jan, based on all the stuff you said, the time, the changes and everything, Smoke Against the Beat is also almost like a debut album, if you will, for you guys, because it's sort of a reinvention of yourselves. But now, you sort of alluded to this. I know technology makes things easier, but how does the dynamic of the duo work when Shenka is in France and you're here in the U.S.?
You know, it's easy. First things first, we got him like an artist visa. That's the first thing and the most important, because now with our president here, you know, we needed to make sure that my other half could be able to go back and forth between France and the U.S., you know. Right. And now he's able to go back and forth between France and the U.S. He's able to play music here. So that is already something that is making our life much easier. Then, with our producer, because now we're working full-time with Kato and Shenka. Kato is in Los Angeles, I'm in Phoenix. François, Shenka is in Paris. As you said, technology is awesome, and we use a lot of technology. But somehow, technology also sucks, because you get the internet, you get all those people discovering you, but also not buying your music, it makes it very hard. However, today, to work, it's not so complicated. François, Shenka, aka Shenka, starts working on an idea. He sends us through email. We discuss about it, send it to Kato. He also put his ideas, and then we meet up. When we're done working on the demo, we meet up. It's very easy. Quite honestly, it's super easy. Of course, we would love to be able to spend more time together all the time in the studio. If you ask me, we would love to be able to be in the studio, Kato, Shenka, and I for 2 or 3 months and do what we're doing over the internet and over the Atlantic in person. But look, so far, the Dukes, I find it very surprising, but it's maybe because I'm part of it. Since we don't have a label, sometimes I'm really baffled. I'm like, gosh, man, people don't sign a band like that. That's crazy. However, we have to deal with what we have, so we can't have 3 months in a studio, where actually a label would give you money to eat and money to pay the studio and come up with the best album, and the best song. We have to do it the way we can. Shenka, as soon as he can, we have gigs, we have activity in the US. He flies here, he comes, and we do what we need to do. But can you believe that right now we're struggling to find a tour? We have an agent. We've been submitted to every single main tours, and I'm not talking about trying to support Muse, we're talking about decent national acts, because at the end of the day, we want to preach to everybody, but we can't go and play a show for 5 people, every night. It's impossible. Some cities we go, we play, a lot of people are there. Some cities there's no one. So we need to start developing the band by doing support and strategic support. However, it's extremely hard as well. So, there's not even the need for Shenka to be here all the time, to be honest, at this point. However, if, we get fortunate enough to finally, sign the deal here, and I'm sure eventually we will, I hope, I hope we will, then, it will be time for Shenka to think about moving, because then we need to be in the studio for 3 months straight, we need to have everything, you know what I mean? Right now, we're developing the band here, and as I said, we're struggling to find a nice tour, because again, playing in front of 5 people is good, but you can't do that every night because you're wasting so much money. It's not even about the energy, and being like, oh, I'm too good for that. We don't want to do it. It's just that financially, at some point, you have choices to make. So we find ways to work. It is what it is. We can't complain. We do what we can.
Tell us a little bit about the concept and symbolism of the band's artwork.
The artwork, to be honest with you, this is how it started. When we were working on Smoke Against the Beat, after being done with the music, Shenka and I knew we needed to image the album, Victory there's some good songs on that album. However, we had a huge deficiency in terms of image. Really, we had no image, nothing. So on Smoke Against the Beat, we were thinking about it. And, due to our past, Shenka and I, we have a lot of friends that are filmmaker, video, people that make video, directors, photographers, and every time we would ask them, hey, can you work on our project? And they would all be super excited. And since it's our project and it's, we produce everything, they're like, I'll work for free. But still, they work for free, but they still need a crew. And every time we would ask for a video, you get at the end, it's like 15,000, 20,000, and they're like, oh, can't do that. Same thing for the photography and for the booklet and everything. So at some point, Shenka came to me and was like, you know what, Greg? I used to draw when I was in high school. Books and books and books and books. You know what? Let me try something. And during the winter, a couple of years back, he was in a retreat in I think it was in the Vosges. Was it the Vosges? No, in the Jura. So in the French mountains with his family for Christmas, you know. He sends me a animation of a character, 3 seconds animation. And it's this character moving to three seconds of music. And I'm like, and this character is Smokey, our guy, you know, our main guy. And I was like, dude, this is sick. This is awesome. And he was like, oh, really? You think so? And I was like, oh, man, this is awesome. Are you kidding me? He's like, do you think I should keep going? I said, dude, I mean, this is a Pandora's box. Not only you should keep going, but this is it, you know, this is what we were lacking all these years. So he's like, oh, okay, let me try to keep doing what I did on a full song, you know. And I was like, man, that's fantastic. And 4 days later, literally 4 days later, and 860-something drawings later, he sends me the video for The Gray People. He had gotten an iPhone app, and he drew each drawing, so total over 860-something drawings. And he made the first animation of the Dukes. And I was like, dude, this is amazing. So one thing led to another, which was like, oh, I'm going to try to do the booklet. And François loved the big tapestry from the 15th and 16th centuries, you know. And so, you know, those big pieces you can find in museums, you know, where you have all those messages hidden on the drawings, you know. And one thing led to another. And the symbolism, believe it or not, Shenka started doing some symbols, but a few weeks later we realized, like, gosh, look at what the symbols means. You know, those were in the back of our heads, but they were not, you know, we didn't try to, it just came out very naturally. That's what I can tell you. And in fact, we believe that now with the music, it fits perfectly. But this came as an accident, man. It was out of necessity because we didn't have the means to hire people to do it. And Shenka came up with that, and it became art and roll, you know, because this is pretty awesome. I have a fantasy, which we started talking about when we were living in Europe. One day, I think we can be doing an exhibit of our stuff and do like art modern galleries, you know. I come from art modern. My dad used to work for one of the biggest art galleries in the world. So I'm a huge art lover. I love art. And I think with the Dukes, our videos, our artworks, our drawing, our cartoons, everything we have, we could probably be doing one day a tour of art galleries, you know, stay, you know, maybe a month in Brussels, a month in Paris, a month in New York, a month in Tokyo, you know what I mean? Because this is way beyond us, what we came up with. And this was an accident, man. There was nothing planned. We didn't know. It was really, it came from, you know, it's natural. That's all I can say. It's very natural. So.
Yeah, the visuals really add to the vibe of the music. So you already alluded to this. You are already knee-deep in the next album, even though Smoke Against the Beat just came out. Tell us a little bit about what we can expect with the next album and what working with Kato is like and what he brought to the table.
Dude, you guys have no idea what's coming. I mean, I wish I could share with you. This is Kato. He's a wizard. He's almost the third Dukes. I mean, he decided to work with us. There was no money involved, no management, no nothing. I reached out to Kato through his management while we were dealing our management contract. Nobody knew we were getting in touch with Kato. But Shenka and I were like, he would be the ideal guy to work with. And me, I'm not afraid to hear no, you know. It's like, okay, no, worst case scenario, you know.
Right.
So, as I did with our managers, went on LinkedIn, find his manager, reached out to his manager. He got back to me and he's like, dude, you know, Kato right now is in super, super high demand. He's making like a lot of money to produce the tracks, you know, but he's like, look, what you guys are doing is pretty sensational. So I'm still going to reach out to him and propose him. But he said, don't be disappointed if he says no, because he's really in high demand right now. Well, 4 days later, we were on a call with Kato because he loved it. He was like, I love it. I don't care about the money. I don't care about anything. I just want to work with you. And this is the guy that had, like, this year, how many? 2 or 3 number one already in the Billboard.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when this came up, we were just done with Smoke Against the Beat, but do you pass on an opportunity like that when one of the biggest rock producer in the world is like, dude, I want to work with you. I don't want to take money. I just want to work with you because I haven't been, and he's working on a lot of good records. But he said, I did a lot of good records those last years, but I haven't been as excited and as challenged musically wise by what you guys came up with, you know? And he said, that's why I wanted to work with you. And then when we went to LA and worked together, we literally fell in love with each other. And we opened the door to Kato. We're co-writing our songs together. You know, I would almost say he's the third Duke. He probably will join us as soon as we have the way to do it. We'll take him on tour with us and add him on stage. He's our brother. He's our producer. He's our friend. And he took the Dukes. That guy will put the Dukes on the map. I mean, really, because we came up with the songs, but he came up with the sound. You know what I mean? Right. He finally put that final touch that we were, we produced all our albums together. Shenka and I, we did everything. So at some point, to get to the next level, I believe we needed the help of someone. And we found Kato, and he's the perfect match for us, This is how it happened. And he's really bringing us to the next level. I'm sure you guys, you guys will have some song very soon. We're really all super excited. Maybe we'll release, because we have a lot of songs for the next album. So maybe, in a few months from now, maybe at the beginning of next year or maybe the spring, we'll release at least an EP for sure, because you guys need to hear that. It's the Dukes. But I think it's the final version of the Dukes. You know what I mean? The sound is fantastic. The songs are even better than Smoke Against the Beat. More us, Kato was able to get this out of us, I don't know how he did it. I mean, that's probably why he's one of the best producers in the country right now, because he's able to, to get into your mind and get the best out of you and make you, what you're, we were, with Smoke Against the Beat, we're close to being very particular, but to me, we still can hear hints of this, hints of that, Now we're really Dukes. When now you listen to a track and another track and you're like, okay, you would know whose band is playing because it's very defining. And Kato, in that matter, is a monster.
He helped you guys sort of find and solidify your signature.
Absolutely. We have, yes. And you guys, it's like the nose in the middle of the face. When you guys will listen to the new material, you'll get it right away. You'll say, oh yeah. He's not like, he doesn't revolution our music, It's just like, now we have the signature that we are looking for, that every band should have, because that's what makes a band unique. It's the signature. If you're looking like, or sounding like every other band, you're not going to go anywhere. And that's actually a strength and weakness for us right now, because in this music business, and it probably better than me, or at least as good, people are afraid to change. Right now, they're afraid to sign something that's not like the other band. When we played on the Warp, for example, I'm just giving you a little feeling. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right, I don't know. But this is how I see it. The Warp was great. The bands were super nice and super great. But I can tell you, out of 50 bands playing every day, 40 would sound the same.
Right.
Literally. I could not tell you who's playing. You know what I mean? Like, they all sound the same. Labels are going for bands where they're like, oh, we know people like it. We know there's a business for this type of music, for this type of, for this scene. Us, we're coming with something so new. And I'm not talking about Smoke Against the Beat. People are telling us, during interviews, they're like, man, you guys come up with something so different. It's like you created your own style. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty incredible, because to me, Smoke Against the Beat is a great album, but creating the whole style, not as much as we did on the songs we're working on with Kato. You know what I mean? And this is also part of our weakness, I think, because labels are scared to sign something that is completely new, like that doesn't sound like any other band. So it's great to have a signature. Today, I think it's a weakness, but maybe in 5 years from now, when we'll talk about it again, we'll say it was smart to pursue in that direction, because, we had many offers from labels, or many offers that we didn't get because they wanted us to do something we didn't want to do, which is copy the others. and be like, why don't you do a song like this or like that? Because we don't want to. Because we want to be us, because we want to be unique. We don't want to be a copy of a copy of a copy, because all those bands right now that are copying everybody else have nothing new to me, but that's another debate.
Well, and that's really the thing that's been missing from rock and roll and music in general. It used to be, you would listen to a band and so many of them had these iconic voices and these very signature sounds, and you could identify what band was what just from hearing a song. It's not that way anymore, and that's the way that it should be.
Absolutely, that's exactly it. When I was playing in my former band in France, I sold a couple million records. I packed up arenas. We packed up major festivals like 50, 55, 60,000 people. Yes, we were on top of the French market, but we were nothing but a copy of No Doubt. And the Dukes, I don't want to be a copy of anybody. If we make it, it's because we're different, we're unique. I don't want to be a copy of anything. I want to lead the movement. I want to lead the trend. I want to be a trendsetter. I don't want to be a follower. And as you said, I don't want people to say, who is that on the radio? Oh, is it? Oh, it sounds so much like, No way. No, thank you. I'd prefer to do something else, to quit music and go work.
Right.
Because Shenka and I didn't decide to play music and make music our life, to be doing a job like if you were working at the post office. And I have all the respect in the world for people working at the post office, no misunderstanding. But at some point, it's just like, let's be creative, let's be unique, let's be individuals, let's not be just a copy. And actually, we have a song that sums up everything. And in the US, you guys get it really well, because it's your language, much more, for example, than in France and other territories in Europe. Don't die a copy. Don't die a fraud. That's what I would tell people. So this is what we apply to our everyday life. We don't want to be copies, man. We want to be unique. We want to be just like the Dukes, and so be it. If we succeed, that's great. If we don't, at least I look at myself in the mirror. I look at my kids and I say, look, I could keep making a lot of money and be a copy of a copy of a copy and still do the same circuit, play the same CDs, play the same tour, make the same 6 figures every year and be happy. Or I could really do what my dream is all about. First off, be the first French rock band. I'm saying rock band because we do have a great metal band that made it here in the US, which is Gojira.
Right.
They're fantastic. They're from France. Now they're supporting Metallica, but it's a metal band. In rock and roll, there's not a French rock band that made it to the US and that was credible. You know what I mean?
Right.
None, because Phoenix, the band Phoenix, it's not rock and roll. M83, it's not rock and roll. And all the other bands that are coming from France, Stromae and Christine and the Queens, that's crap to me. That's terrible. That's the worst thing. However, my dream and Shenka's dream was to one day be able to fight with all those international bands, So it's either we would fail or we would succeed, but at least we're trying, and we're trying to go for the top of the pyramid. We're not trying to, be a copy, or we just want to be. And I think that's what this world is lacking today. People are just copycat, man, copycats, and I can't stand that. It drives me nuts. So we're trying to change that. It sounds funny. Even me, when I tell you we're trying to change that, I'm looking at the scale of the world and I'm like, what am I changing? You know what I mean? If I can already, but this is what I have in mind. This is what I want to tell the kids. This is what I want to tell the people of my age. This is what I want to tell older people. Don't fucking let the system, brainwash your head. Be unique. Be who you are. Be true to yourself. And don't let money lead your life. Be who you are. And if you're going to make less, but you're going to be unique, then fuck it. Be it. So be it. You know what I mean? So that's, how I see things, how we see things, because Shenka totally shared this vision with me,
Absolutely. So now, are you guys going to kick off a pledge campaign for the new album and whatnot?
Yes. Actually, yes. We're going to kick off a pledge campaign in the very first days of September for the new album and also, touring, because as we said right now, also, even though Kato, for example, the new album, Kato works with us. We have a deal. He works for we work for free. It's a band. He's the third member. We split our publishing together. That's our story. However, we always want to go in a studio, in a good studio, to bring quality. We don't want to record it in our garage. You know what I mean? So at some point, it costs money not only to record the album, but also then to go on tour, as I said earlier, because when you don't draw that many people, what's your offer? $100. And when you support, if we ever, there are some talks, with some good bands that we could support, but it's the same thing, what you get, $150. So we need the help of people to help us launch actually the Dukes, and hopefully at some point, not that I want to, but we need, at some point, you need the strength of a label behind you, because there are still things, I was signed 10 years on Universal, major on actually Mercury and then Polydor. So I know how work majors, I dislike them, but at some point you need them. There's no way around. So far, there's no way around. We're working on finding ways to distribute your music differently than with the help of the majors. I have some ideas. We're always working with the Dukes. It's like the factory of Andy Warhol. We're always working on something. However, we may need either stay forever independent, but then we need to grow a big fan base. And, if we have a big fan base, we can do it. But right now, since we don't have one, we need to develop it. And Pledge Campaign is a great outlet to get noticed, to get known. The people of the Pledge, they love the ideas we put, because as usual, we put very interesting things on that campaign, as far as Schenker selling his soul as well. You can even buy Schenker's soul, So we took it very far, man. We took it very far. We did, the usual Duke things. We don't make because we saw what other bands were doing. And with all the respect I have for them, we were like, oh no, we're not going to do that. This is lame, just selling a t-shirt and a pair of drumsticks. Come on, man. Let's not go there. So on that Pledge campaign, you can buy things that no other band, only a few bands could be able to sell, which is the original drawing of the artwork of the album, the original drawing of artwork of the videos, because remember our video, most of them are animation, Playmation or claymation. So we do have everything. And if you want, you can buy a sequence of a video. You can buy a 3-second sequence and you get 12 drawings,
right,
in a little booklet that we made for you. You can buy, it's the same. We don't want to give like drum lesson or stuff like that. We're not interested in that. We really want to give the fan. We want them to share something with us for real, And those drawings to us, it breaks my heart to see them go, because this is our story, man. We do everything on our own. But I want fans to be engaged with us. I want them to see that we respect them. When we do a Pledge campaign, we give them something that, man, it hurts me to give it, to let it go. But to me, it's a way to respect the fan. It shows that I'm not giving them something that I don't care about. You know what I mean? It's like, I do care for that.
In a way, it sort of still stays within the Dukes family, though, the extended family.
Absolutely.
So.
Yes, man. That's the concept. That's what I want. I want engaged. I want to help my fans. We want, would you excuse me, because when I say Schenker and I are only one voice. We agree on most of everything. And if we don't, then it doesn't exist. That's how we work with the Dukes. That's why at the end of the day, we decided to go to a two-piece rock band, because we get along really well together. We share the same vision, and we didn't want anybody to come in the middle. You have the third person who's going to be the referee. You want to do this, I don't want to do this, let's ask the third person. No, it's our band, so we do it together, and that's why when I say it's really we, but that's what we feel like. We want this to stay in our family, and the family can be as big as hopefully it will become a huge family. But we see the Dukes, we almost, you guys don't know, but we're in the back of our head, there's a frat that we want to create with events, with special events for those people, because if you look at our symbol, if you look at what we're doing, we're going there, man. And naturally, it's like, it's a fraternity, that band, and we have crazy ideas. If we had means, man, we would do crazy things, like literally crazy things for the fans that nobody has ever thought of, but we need a little bit more time to develop the band and a little bit more means to bring to the table what we want to do. But yeah, our fans, we really don't want to give them crappy stuff, we're ashamed sometimes about what we see and the price it's sold, I'm not going to name anybody, but sometimes I'm like, this is a joke, it's a fucking joke. It's no respect, and that is not the Dukes. I mean, maybe in 20 years you look at me, or 10 years you say, hey, Greg, remember that conversation we had? Now you turn like one of those guys you were critiquing our band, but right now we're not there. Right now we want to offer the best of the best to our fans,
As a drummer, trying to develop your own style, were there certain people in your own family, because I know you come from a family of percussionists, that you tried to emulate, or other influences outside of the family that impacted you?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, this is what is cool about, for example, my drumming and the way I learned the music. So as you know, my dad was a percussionist, so I since my youngest age, I was hanging out around musicians, and I was fascinated by the drums, like fascinated. However, my dad gave me, and he wasn't, he's French, but he gave me the Afro-Cuban side, and when you're a drummer, having the Afro-Cuban, in your vein is pretty awesome because you can groove, you know what groove is, you want to shake your booty, and then listening to records at my house from the Beatles, from, the Stones, like Hendrix, Led Zeppelin, and then all the Afro-Cuban music, Ray Barretto, and many, many more. I totally tried to create my own style. First off, I haven't gone to music school. I learned the drums by myself, playing with people, playing on records. I can play any song of The Clash. You put any song of The Clash, I can play it. Can put any song of Led Zeppelin, I can play it. I learned to play on top of the records when I was a kid, started playing really at 5. So I took some influences from John Bonham, some influences from Topper Eden, some influences from the Ray Barretto, some influences from Luis Conte, who's an amazing percussionist. I took some influences from, even Dave Grohl at some point,
Right.
And I made that me. Because don't forget, I'm French, and I don't come with the usual American or Brit background, Our music is very different in France, at the end of the day, the culture. So I really try to develop my own style, and people can see it. They're like, man, you have a funny way of playing because it's very American, but you still have this romanticism somehow, somewhere on what you're doing, which is linked to your European side. So I'm most definitely influenced by a lot of big names in the drumming, but I'm also trying to, get my stuff together and be Greg,
All right, last question just for fun. So we all have something of an inner nerd. What's the nerdiest thing that you do?
I'm a pretty nerdy. What could it be? Could be playing golf considered nerdy. Not really, but I would say that is as nerdy as it can get for me, because most of the time, I'm not the one into computers. Shenkai is more into the computers than I am. My nerdy side would be doing, I don't know, man, it's a tough question. It's either golf or doing business, because I love, I did some consulting for many companies, music consulting. When I was a big name in France a few years back, a lot of companies approached me because they liked the way I thought, and they wanted me to actually give them lesson on how to get into the music industry. So I did that. So I don't know, is it nerdy or not? So yeah, that would be, I guess, maybe golfing is the most nerdy thing I do with my son. We love to golf. And, Arizona is like a golf heaven. So, and actually our backyard, we sold our home and moved to a new home. And our backyard, my son and I were crazy because we have about 100-yard hole that we have set up. We do play golf in our backyard now. So it's pretty fun. So that would be the nerdiest thing I do,
Well, it's funny because you're in Phoenix, which also has one of rock's great golf nerds himself in Alice Cooper. So hopefully you'll get a chance to play with him one day.
Dude, I know this will happen one day. I know we'll meet one day. I know it's in the book, because we've been a lot of people. Obviously, a lot of people have talked about Alice to me, and I'm sure my name has been brought because I'm the Frenchie, and when in Phoenix, there's a lot of good musicians, but when it comes to rock drummers, like real rock drummers, at the end of the day, we aren't that many with that craziness, and so a lot of people told me, man, we need to make the introduction with Alice, and so I'm just, waiting. I'm sure one day it will happen, and I'd love not only to play golf with him, but just jam with the guy, that would be fun. Our manager worked with him back in the days, Bob Chaparty. He worked with everybody, so there's two guys I really want to meet. I want to meet Alice, and in a different spirit, obviously not to go play golf. I don't think he can. It's Ozzy. I really want to meet Ozzy because I think that dude is so weird and so special and so unique that I have to meet him, And again, Bob Chaparty is one of Ozzy's closest friends. They've been working together for, 30 years or something. So those are the two, legends I would love to meet because they have such an impact. So we'll see, man.
Greg Jacks of the Dukes, the new album, Smoke Against the Beat, out now. Hopefully a new pledge campaign launching in the upcoming week or two for the next album that you're working on with Kato. We look forward to that as well. Thanks for taking so much time to chat with us and give us some deep insight into the band.
Dude, thank you so much, man. That's very kind of you. And anytime, dude, I really can't wait for you guys to start listening. I mean, I'm super proud of Smoke Against the Beat, but you know how it is when you're a musician. When the baby is recorded and you go on tour and you start supporting them, it's almost like you're proud of it, but you want to make another baby. You know what I mean? Yeah. And when I know what we're coming up with, it's the composition. We have the creativity is here. So I'm impatient for you guys to offer you the follow-up and see what you guys think, But again, thank you so much for supporting the Dukes. Thank you so much for being our voice, helping us, put the name on the map here in the U.S. where it's our home now because the band is really mostly working here. So thank you so much. We really appreciate it and we won't forget what you guys are doing, which is being here right now when we're almost nobody. So thank you so much. Thank you so much.